Okay, so yeah, first of all, thanks a lot, Chris, for inviting me for this exciting summit, and I look forward to listen from the different speakers during these 2 days. Some elements about this of this talk about this talk. So I'm Guillaume Jacquet. I'm a member of the Text and Data Mining Unit, which is part of the Joint Research Center, which is part of the European Commission. And the talk will be about trying to give some hints about the link between text mining and natural language processing on one side and policymakers on the other side. So it could look like two far concepts, but you'll see that somehow there are some strong links. Chris asked me to give some hints about, let's say, what would be inside the talk. So I propose to answer these more generic questions, which is first, what is the Joint Research Center, which I will explain. Then how to access information in a multilingual and cross-lingual environment when you do text analysis. And finally, describe what's the link between natural language processing on one side, NLP, and on the other side, data for policy and policy for data. So let's start with the first one. What is the Joint Research Center? So as I said, it is part of the European Commission. It is the in-house science and knowledge service for the European Commission. And I am a member of one of the units of this Joint Research Center, which is called Text and Data Mining Unit. So the Joint Research Center in few numbers. So it is composed of 10 different directorates corresponding to different research topics. We are based in 6 different locations. I'm personally based in Ispra, in Italy, close to Milan. We are 3,000 different employees, and we roughly publish a bit more than 1,000 of publications per year. Okay, so it's just to give you a big picture of what is the Joint Research Center. So inside this research center, there are different units, including mine, which is the Text and Data Mining Unit. And inside this unit, there are different projects. I know it's a bit heavy, but I think it's important to give the big picture of where the work I will present is placed. So there are different projects inside the Text and Data Mining Unit. And I will focus on the one which are using or exploiting natural language processing approaches. So there is one which is called the Text Mining and Analysis Competence Center, which is developing some tools and services to extract information from text. There is the Europe Media Monitor project, which I will which I will describe in more details after, because it's a good example of how to extract information from multilingual text. There is the Tools for Innovation Monitoring project, which is focusing on scientific publications and patents. And I will mention at the end of the presentation the Data for Policy project. So I will describe it at the end of the project of the talk. So so yeah, now you have kind of a big picture of what is the Joint Research Center in few words. About accessing information in a multilingual environment, I propose to mention 2 specific use cases. So I will start with the first one, which is the Europe Media Monitor, which I mentioned before. So the purpose of this project is to start from online media, textual media, and to go to extract information from text. So to gather, let's say, data from the online media, to enrich this data, to select this data, and to present it to users. So somehow the idea is to be able to develop tools to highlight the 100 most relevant articles for a specific need from thousands and thousands of news articles which are published every day. So the sources that we exploit to do this analysis are, let's say, online sources with a wide coverage from local to international coverage. It is, of course, multilingual, and this is essential for the Commission because you have 24 official languages of the European Union, plus the key languages from outside the EU. So the sources which are covered are online media, news wires, blogs, and many other types of sources. And this is an online tool, so it is updated, let's say, live. So the idea is to the architecture of this EMM is to gather these 300,000 news articles per day. It's even more now, from 70 different languages, from many thousands of different sources, and to process them, extract information from them, and deliver this information via different end user interfaces. So yeah, what EMM can do is to reduce the amount of data to be analyzed, to provide additional information which is extracted, and to provide some automatic alerting based on what we observe in the news. So now, if we go to the NLP aspect, and if we look at inside the EMM engine, clearly inside the EMM engine, you have different processes, you have different modules, and most of them are related to natural language processing because it consists in extracting information from this text. So if I take this snippet of text, which is extracted from a news, the principle, it doesn't cover all the things we extract, but it's just to give an idea. We extract this information from the text, so the language, which is not the hardest task to detect the language, but it's not straightforward. Not for English, but for some other languages, it's not straightforward. But some more complex elements like the entities which are mentioned in the text, the person names, the organization names, the location names. We identify the quotes, so who said what. We identify the sentiment expressed in this snippet, and we do some categorization, like we identify the topics which are expressed in the text. So this is the kind of metadata we extract thanks to natural language processing approaches, and we integrate it in this EMM engine. I will not give too many details about, I will not give details about the methods we use, because most because of time. It's not because it's hidden, but it's really like the methods are corresponding to a large range of methods, from, let's say, traditional approaches like rule-based approaches to deep learning approaches. So we really try to select the most appropriate method, NLP method, according to the specific need and the specific task. Just some focus on one of these tasks, which is the entity detection, which consists in detecting person names, organization names, location names in the text. And just to highlight the fact that when you go to multilingual, it makes the task even harder. Because if you go for one language, the task consists in being able to identify that Bashar al-Assad is a person name, okay, in this sentence. But if you go at the multilingual level, you must be able to detect this in all of these languages, but also to say that all these expressions are referring to the same person. Okay, so this is the just a flavor of what we extract from the text. You can visualize what we extract from this from text with this publicly available user interface, which is called Newsbrief. So if you type Newsbrief, you'll find it. And the idea here is to highlight the top events expressed of the day. And you will not have, of course, the same ranking according to the language you select. But additionally to these publicly available user interfaces, EMM is also used internally to support the creation of reports, press reviews, newsletters. So it is really something which is used daily by different institutions. And this is here just a subset of institutions which are using EMM. So this is not to sell it, because we don't sell it, but it's just to show that it's not just a toy tool that we developed in the research lab and which is working only on academic data sets, but it is really something which is used daily by EU institutions and outside the EU. Okay, so this is one use case of how NLP is used in our team. And I wanted to mention another one, which is more recent. I don't know if you heard about the conference on the future of Europe. If you didn't, it's a pity, but it's the opportunity to mention it. So this initiative started in May this year, and the idea of this initiative is to give the voice to the EU citizens to express how they would like to see the EU in the future. So you have this website, which I give the link here, where you can express your ideas, your own ideas on some specific topics which are listed here, but it's kind of open also to other topics. So you have these other ideas if you think that what you want to express is not fitting in the proposed topics. And the idea is to express your opinion, your view, or to comment some ideas proposed by others, or to support some ideas proposed by others. Now, what's the link with NLP? Well, it's clear that once many people from many different countries, from many different languages are expressing opinion, we have to develop some tools, some NLP tools to analyze these ideas, whatever the language in which it's expressed. So here, it's very recent. So we do some analysis already. We have some tools, but it's too early to show them. But it's just to show some example of ideas that are publicly visible on this website I mentioned before, related to AI, so in artificial intelligence. And you can see that, okay, you have topics expressed in different languages. And even if you read the titles of these ideas, they might not be exactly the same idea. But if you go inside these ideas, you could have some common propositions which we on our side should be able to identify as as the same. So this is a big challenge, but that's very interesting because you really make possible some different ideas expressed in different languages to be together if they express the same thing. Okay, so that was the second use case. The last point is about the link between natural language processing on one side and data for policy and policy for data on the other side. So for the link between NLP and data for policy, I hope I already convinced you with the two previous use cases that it is kind of a key element if you want to give access when you make policy. If you want to access data, NLP is a key element because it helps you to access something which is expressed in text. For the policy for data, this is what I want to mention now, and the fact that there are some rules, there are some laws, there are some statements, and we must cope with this. And this is a challenge for the natural language processing, because we have to kind of cope with two views. One view is that we must be compliant with the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, which you probably heard about. So, and which is very important because it is about intellectual property, it is about privacy. So we must have this as a frame. The GDPR is the frame. We must be in this frame. But on the other side, it's also important to make access to the analysis we do, to make open access to the tools we develop. So there is this balance to follow, like being compliant with GDPR, but as much as possible to give access to what we create in the Commission and in the JRC in particular. So as I said, it's why this, because of legal constraints, but also the need of transparency, the need of science reproducibility, and other reasons. So for this, we give access to the public data sets we create at the JRC via this website I mentioned here, where you can see in many different topics you can access some data sets. And this is not the only place where you can access it. You have, once it's published, it's also accessible in other portals or data websites, like, okay, the Web of Science for the scientific publications, but also for the data sets, you have this EU data portal, or it's also called ODP, where you can access data sets from the JRC, but also from other sources. Okay. So if we go back to the initial questions, I hope I gave some hints to answer these questions. And if you couldn't follow the full presentation, I give some specific hints. So what is the Joint Research Center? It's an in-house science and knowledge service for the European Commission. I presented two examples of how to access information in a multilingual environment with the EMM, the Europe Media Monitor, and this conference on the future of Europe. And about the link between NLP and on one side and data for policy and policy for data on the other side, I would say I would see NLP as a key support in data for policy. And I hope I convinced you with the examples I gave. And policy for data as a guide for NLP algorithm.